think in the interior we should do something peachy and very reflective. I don't know what this is called, but let me use this one. I think this will come up. Close, please. So this is very paint by numbers, which we've done this week, isn't it? Open. And highlight here, and highlight here. So the purpose is, you can use liners to kind of create some of your story. Well, let's talk about this. What are some of the things you think you want to do in the industry? Like, where are you? I mean, obviously, you just finished a 5-day class, and maybe it opened up another world to you, or maybe it confused you more. I don't know. But based on your passion, which all of you have, what are some of the things you want to do? Big picture, and always think big. Like, what do you really want to do? Anna, what do you want to do?
Me?
Open to
Film and television?
film and television. So that hasn't changed for you. So see, that's key. Film and television, look up, please. So that means the next steps for you at some point is to get in some classes around HD TV and the things that are relevant to that world, right? And for tomorrow too, your work doesn't have to be necessarily symmetrical. We rarely shoot girls face on. I mean, there's some. Most of them have some kind of angle to it. But it does have to, just in case we want to shoot it straight on, it's a good goal to try to make it symmetrical. It doesn't have to be, but. Something like that. Anyone else? What you want to do? You like, just get through this photo shoot tomorrow. I'll tell you this, I thought about this last night when Beth and I were talking. If I had, 15 years ago a class like this, or had been thinking a little more strategically, I could see my career. I'm very happy where I am, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. But I could see how I could have used that time differently to really streamline my energy around where I wanted to end up. Getting myself around more photo shoots and fashion. A lot of things I wouldn't do because I was scared, like assisting big makeup artists, yeah, and I would say, oh, I'm busy, I can't. Like one guy wanted me to come to a shoot when he was done with the makeup, because he had to fly out and stay with the model the rest of the day. And it was Sam Fine, who's a really dear friend of mine, and I lied, and this is like 12 years ago. And I lied and said I was busy, because I was scared, I was horrified. I was like, I can't do that. Looking back on it, I think I would have done it, because it would have put me in another world, like around more celebrities and more, not necessarily celebrities, more celebrity photographers and that. But I'm not complaining, I work with great photographers too. So I think that kind of thing, if someone could have coached me more that way. If you know you want to do fashion and beauty, no one's really said that though, but you have to think, okay, how much fashion and beauty is in Philly? How can you maximize that? And then where else will you have to go? I mean, most of y'all would just want to wake up every day doing makeup as your thing. So many of you said you don't want to do retail, which puts you in a whole other strategy. Like, you have to really start thinking, okay, how are you going to do that? But most of us work in the retail world. We say we're makeup artists, we start there. So that takes another strategy. So, have a plan, work your plan and plan your work, is what they say. Look up, please. See, like a mascara ad could use Jamie as a model and not have to lie and say, with false lashes. I mean, she has great lashes.
Now, are you from New York, or did you move to New York to better your career?
Oh, thank you. I'm from Chicago originally, and I moved to New York in, it was 1995, honestly, to pursue a modeling career. which makes me laugh. Hey! It's not that funny. Watch it. No, it makes me laugh now because in Chicago, I got some work. Like if you ever have the misfortune of looking at Pivot Point's men's haircutting book, I'm like the male model for like the graduated high top fade. It's like,
like kidding play.
and the worst, it's very kid and play. And the worst part about it, you know, back then you're so anxious to work, you sign anything. I signed a lifetime usage contract. They can use it for as long as they're alive and I'm alive. Actually, longer than when I'm alive. They can use it for as long as they.
But you get paid every time you use it,
No,
right?
you
Not?
sign over. I signed over my rights. This horrible.
What's it called?
picture.
Because I gotta look at
Pivot
it.
Point Men's Forum. It's the men's haircutting book. It's so bad. Oh my gosh. And this, I went to teach a class in Ohio, and this girl was in class, and she kept looking at me. She's like, I've seen you before. I was like, no, I've never been here before. She's like, no, I know your face. And I'm like, no, everyone has a twin. And she kept looking, she goes, it'll come to me. And then in the middle of the presentation, she goes, I know exactly what it is. I'll be back. She went to get her book, and she came back, she goes, this is you. I'm like, how'd you get that? And so I called Pivot Point, look up please. I called Pivot Point, and I said, I just want you to know, my usage right has run out. You have to pay me because you're still using the photo. And their lawyers faxed me right away. And said, actually, this is what you signed. And I was like, oh my God. It's bad. So all that to say what? I moved to New York to pursue that defunct modeling career. And I took $1,000. I didn't have any money. I had no money. So I went to a beta because I needed a job. I needed to, make some extra income. And I fell in love with the company. Like, I just loved it. Because this was back, and this is no judgment. This is when Horst Reckelbacher owned the company before Estee Lauder. So it was just an amazing company to be at, and we had a lot of freedom, and we would go out and design the store ourselves and buy stuff to to decorate or whatever. But then I learned makeup, like I told you, that's why I learned makeup, and then it became my passion. It became what I do now. So we're gonna bring this out once the skin is on. We're gonna bring this eye out just a bit, but the skin is not yet. So over, please. So it's our blue and gold smoky eye. Look up, please. Okay, so is Jamie's skin tone fair, medium, or deep?
Fair.
Fair. So for contouring team, you need to choose something.
Sorry.
I'm right here. Look up. You need to choose something in the next skin category, right? So we don't want to choose fair products to contour her with. We're going to be medium.
Yeah.
Sometimes we go deep depending on what you're really doing. You're fine, babe, but it was maybe you want. A lot. Now this mascara one has a little mascara left on it, so I just use it to brush the brows. We don't want them dark, just defined. And that's contour. So in your book, it tells you the placement, but team, it's different on every face. Like, you don't contour. Oh, we had the stuff here. I'm not going to use this, though. We bought a primer, but I've never used it, so I'm not going to try it. But there's one here. We want to play with that this afternoon. It's just that you put on after your moisturizer to make the foundation. If you're going to do highlighting, contouring, I would use one brush for highlighting and the other for contouring, so you have two completely separate brushes. So here's some tips, team. If you look at Jamie's bone structure, can you see her cheekbone, how defined it is? Can I tell you on everyone in this room, except if you've been enhanced, your natural, you know what I mean? Your natural contour of your jaw is parallel to your tracheus, which is this part of your ear. It's parallel to this. This is the exact contour. And the way you know, when Jamie sucks in her cheekbone, it's that same line, really hard. There you go. Okay? It's the same line. So people get confused where to do it because some faces are rounder, square, whatever. And many books teach like on a square head do this, on a round head do this. We teach go with the anatomy of the face. Unless it's been altered, it'll never steer you wrong. So on Jamie, what we want to do, we're going to contour her natural cheekbones, following the tracheas. You can go into it if you want, but it's really just below it. I'm using,
Can I conceal it?
it's the concealers, yes. Thank you. Once again, I'm going to use concealers team for this whole application for the, thank you, for the contouring, for the highlighting, which is skin tone, and go over with bronzer and blush just to refine it, okay?
What do you do if the face has been altered?
Who asked that?
Me.
Where are you? Yeah. So then you have to go with what's physically the cheekbones, because they could be higher than what we're doing now, or lower. So I look at the person, and I follow the indentation either with your finger or your brush, because it's not gonna always be that line, unfortunately. So how far should your contour come? You want it to, sculpt the face. So we want to go just below the cheekbone. Stop it before you get to the center of the face team, which is where we put our pop of color for blush, right? So just shortly up. Some people go to the sides of the mouth. It makes the face really sculpted though, like Wendy Williams, makeup artist, does that, and it goes right to the corners. And so it really makes it, you don't have to, it's not wrong. But the stronger you go, the more obvious your contour is. You don't want a sharp line like this. Did we pass that book around? Did everyone see the contouring on that picture?